Hey guys, thank you for joining us. We're so excited that you have registered and signed up for to receive this programming that we have. We're super excited to share it with you, all our tips and tools and
Yeah, that's awesome. So welcome, first of all. We're excited to get started with you. And as we get started, one of the things that we thought was really important was just to give you an idea of how we think you might get the most benefit out of what we're putting out there. The way to sort of work your way through that. So there's going to be meditations, and it's all audio that are there, and then Vanessa will have some videos with
some art exercises. So these ones are more kind of in-depth art activities. So in participating in this, you're not necessarily creating pretty pictures. I'm not going to teach you skills on how to draw better or how to paint better. It's more using art as a way to go more in depth and discover and reconnect with who you are, and just using it as a tool for self-reflection and awareness. So that is the purpose of these art exercises. And so the process is really the most important part. It's not about creating a pretty piece of art. It's not about the final product. It's just about the process.
Awesome. Yeah. And, having been someone that never had felt that I was artistic before, I really got caught up at first because I wanted it to be like, oh, it's got to be good. And Vanessa's really great at that. It's helping you to understand that, just let it be. Just let it flow. Don't get into that judging part until the end, in the sense of just, see what you create by just sort of entering into that process.
Yeah, and what I love most is watching kids, because kids will pick up a crayon with reckless abandonment and they'll just create, and they're just interested in using art as a tool to interpret the world around them. So they're not worried about size or shape or color or if things are in the right proportion. They're just strictly making art for the joy of making art. And so I think if we can take that childlike approach in that sense, that curiosity, that enjoyment, that playfulness, and really connect to that state, then it's going to be a lot more of an enjoyable and, I want to say successful, but I don't. It's going to be a much more enjoyable experience. And I think from that, you'll gain way more than being stuck in that place of, I can't do it, it's not good enough, and putting you inside that box.
And that's a great thing that Vanessa mentions, because when she does her paint nights, she always says, I don't want to hear any negative. I don't want to hear you saying this is no good. So we are going to ask you to do that when you're self-talk, right? When you're doing these processes. Don't start judging yourself and giving yourself those messages. Just let it be. Yeah.
Because my number one rule is negativity kills creativity. So the moment you say, this is terrible, mine sucks, I can't do this, it sucks all of the creativity out of the room, and it's just left to be no fun for anyone.
That's awesome. And so then from the meditation standpoint, again, we can have that same thing. I'm no good at this. I don't know what I'm doing. So we just have a beginner's mind, I always say. And a beginner's mind is, you're not supposed to know anything. That's the part of the joy of it. You get to just let it unfold and discover it. So when you put on the audio, for the first bunch of times, you might just sit and listen to it and not think about meditating to it. Just get used to the way that it sounds, and get used to just sitting in one place for a period of time. That's a fantastic way to begin. I used to call myself a closet meditator, and the reason that I did was I was really nervous about meditating, because it seemed kind of weird, and what if someone caught me doing this? Oh my God, they might think I'm a freak. So I used to think, if I could just lock myself in a closet, then no one could find me, but also no one would interrupt me there. Because when I started into it, I liked it so much. Then I got worried about someone interrupting that, and it was just this whole weird head game thing. So I always suggest to you, when you're going to do it, get used to what it's going to feel like to go into meditation. And then when you think you're ready one day, then sit down and start to listen in a different way. But give yourself the time and space to process that in your own way, because there's no one right way to do this.
And it's not just a one and done. So you don't just listen to it once and go, I've done it. I mean, feel free to pick it up and do it again. Do the exercise, the art exercise. Do it once, do it 10 times. The meditation, do it once, do it 10 times. You might pull something different from it each time.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I listen to certain meditations like over and over, and for years I've been listening to them, and I hear things differently every single time. And it's always that, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Our brain can only take in so much information. It just sifts and sorts and sifts and sorts, and it always brings in what's relevant to us in this time. So as you start to open up and this whole process happens, you're going to start to just connect to different things. And that's the beauty and the fun of this. So it helps you to develop a mind of curiosity and excitement as opposed to maybe one of anxiety and fear.
Mm-hmm. And so we believe that there's a whole bunch of different tools for everybody. So not just one thing fixes all, one thing fits all, but that you can pick and choose, and whatever works for you might not work for her, vice versa. In terms of how our programming operates, what we want to do is we want to send to you some different art therapy exercises, some different meditations, but we also believe that journaling is a really, really huge tool to help you reconnect and just build on that self-awareness and introspectiveness.
Yeah. I love, when I first started journaling, I felt like a bit of a fraud because I used to see like writers and certain types I thought were the types that journaled. And I was always fascinated, like, what are they writing in their journal? Like, I got nothing to say. And then someone said, you know what, just write down, I've got nothing to say. And just write that down 10 times until something else comes out. So it's a practice and it's something new. So don't expect to be good at it or write a book and these are your personal thoughts. No one's going to read this. So it doesn't matter what it says. Mm-mm. It's hard for us because in our school, everything we produce is somehow not rated, right? We get a mark or whatever. When it comes to journaling, it's just your thoughts. It's a way of getting out of your thinking chattery brain to like this, listening to this new voice somehow. And what does it have to say to you? And it's kind of fun.
It's a process of allowing yourself to let go. So letting go of knowing what's going to come, letting go of thinking you have to say it a specific way or phrase it a certain way. You can write down whatever comes to your mind, and knowing that nobody else is going to read it might allow you to write it differently. There's a book called The Artist's Way, and she encourages people to write 3 morning pages. And so every morning you're supposed to wake up and you're supposed to start by journaling. And you just write whatever comes to your mind for 3 pages. And it's just like this brain dump in the morning. And so I've done it where it's like, I don't know what to say this morning. I'm sitting in bed and here I'm supposed to be writing these 3 pages. I'm so bored, I could go back to sleep. And eventually your thoughts will lead from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And all of a sudden you'll end up writing about a situation and perhaps have a different perspective or thought about it or an aha moment that you might not have otherwise in that thinking mind.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times when I look back in some of my journaling pages, I'm like, oh my God, I wrote this? Sometimes it's so ridiculous, but sometimes it's so profound. Right? And it's like, holy cow, I can't believe I'm so connected there. But, so it's that ability too to have something to kind of reflect back on as well.
And we also want to provide you with a tool. So we have a journaling guideline, which gives you different kind of steps or guides on how to journal. So I think there's like 7 or I don't know, there's a few different ones. And you can pick and choose and try them out, see which one fits for you, and have some fun with it.
Yeah. You might get a sense from both of us right now. We're all about there's not one thing that works for all people. And you'll hear us saying that over and over again. So whenever we're giving you something and you're like, bleh, please don't go, oh my God, this doesn't work for me. Find a workaround, find a modification. What can you do to make
change it?
Yeah, change it up, please. Be creative, find your way through this. And we just want to give you some just general starting points and then go run with it. Let it have a life of its own. We're so excited for that.
And that's always the best part. When I run my paint nights, I'm there to guide them through this experience of step by step, this is the painting you're going to create. But by no means do you have to follow it exactly. If you want to go off and make it your own, do it. And the best part is always seeing what they come up with and how they change it and what they add to it. And that's really the best part, is when you can make it your own.
Yeah, because that's what life is. This is your life to live. We're not meant to be the same. We're not meant to copy what our neighbor's doing and have live their life. And that's sometimes too, when we're going through change and we're introducing these things, we don't always recommend that you start telling everybody what you're doing, because as soon as you open up the conversation around the new things you're doing, someone's going to have an opinion on that. And sometimes that stops us dead in our tracks because it's not what they would do or how they would do it. When we do that, what we're doing is we're inviting somebody else's energy into ours, and it has no place there. What you do and how you feel and what you make your decisions on, they're yours, and they're not meant to be that we have to bounce that off somebody and get their permission to do so. So we recommend that, keep this to yourself for a while. Like, get comfortable with the things that you're doing, and then choose who you talk to about it, because wait till you find someone that's actually going to get what you're doing, as opposed to other people that get this blank stare, like, you're what? You're doing art therapy? What's wrong with you?
We're not asking you to sit in the closet
no.
and do it.
Well, maybe. But just to give you that, because sometimes it stops us from these new things, right? Because somebody else is like, what? They don't approve of us. And,
exactly. And then we let other people's thoughts and opinions affect how we proceed. So,
yeah. So make this fun. We're going to try to keep it as simple as possible, in the sense that it's not meant to be just yet another thing you have to do. It's something we hope that you'll get excited about coming to it. Like, oh my God, today's the day I get to, I can pull that out, or I've got set some time aside, and then just let it be, let it flow. And yeah, we're excited. We'll really look forward to your feedback. We'll look forward to hearing all those things that occurred, and the ahas and the beautiful moments. I mean, that's the thing that Vanessa and I really enjoy about the work we get to do. So, yeah. So thanks for coming aboard, and we look forward to more conversations like this, and just being able to share with you guys some of the discoveries we've made, and all the the nuances of where we're going to take you. So
cool.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Adios.
So there will be some things that you need in order to do the art exercises. So these can just be crayons, markers, oil pastels, whatever you can find in your kid's craft drawer. That is basically what you're going to want to invade. You can also go to the dollar store and pick up any fancy paper or design paper or markers, pencils, pencil crayons. You're going to want to invest in a journal, so you have a place to put all of your artwork and journal reflections.
The dollar store I found was a really great resource, because it's cheap and cheerful, and we don't want this to become expensive for you. Just start somewhere, and they have these great 3-ring binder kind of books with really nice kind of art paper in them, and they're $4. So start with something like that. The other thing is, just grab some pencil crayons, right? It's nice just to have a couple options, but it doesn't have to be a pack of 48. It can just be a set of 12.
I think that's it.